G'day guys, Seeney here and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about a brand new stock that I've bought called Voyager Digital. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps to get these videos out to more people. In this video, I'm talking about a brand new stock. It's one that not too many people know about. In fact, it's not even listed on the NASDAQ, on the ASX, anything like that. In fact, it is actually listed in Toronto. Now, Voyager Digital, for those of you that don't know, is a company that I'm incredibly excited about for a number of different reasons. One of the reasons that I really love this company is because it is a massively growing company in a massively growing space. You know, if you've been following this channel, you know that something that I'm really bullish about is companies that have both of those things lining up. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, Voyager Digital facilitates the transactions of cryptocurrencies. You can buy and sell cryptocurrencies through their platform, and what they do is they're like an aggregate and they take the best prices from different exchanges, and that's how they make their money. So as we know, cryptocurrencies are a massively growing space, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more later in this video. So make sure that you've watched the entire video so you can get a really good idea of everything about this company and why I personally believe that they're going to do really well in the future. Of course, not financial advice. You know, you need to do your own research and take this with a grain of salt. So this company has the ticker symbol VOYG and it trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange, as I said. Now, the reason I'm very excited for this company from a macro perspective is because we need to look at the broader market to see what some of the market conditions are at the moment. Now, as you might know, you'd see that small caps, companies that are worth under $10 billion have been absolutely slammed recently. They've just been beaten down so much in comparison to the rest of the market. In fact, we're seeing small caps trade at a forward PE of around 14 at the moment compared to large caps, which are trading at over 20. So at the moment for myself, there's a lot of value that I can personally see in a lot of the small cap stocks, and that's where I'm putting my money at the moment, as opposed to some of the big dogs such as Apple or Google. You know, the risk to reward there is just not as good. So to start with, I'm looking at small caps, and this is a company that fits into that category. So Voyager Digital has a market cap of around $2 billion Canadian. In US dollars, this is about 1.58 billion. So it's a very small company in terms of the stock market, considering that you have companies that are significantly larger than $1.5 billion. So one of the most important things when you're looking at a company in the stock market is to look at the management team. And this is a management team that I feel very confident in moving forward into the future. So we have Stephen Ehrlich, who is the CEO of this company. He's the CEO of Voyager Digital, and he's worked in capital markets for over 25 years. So that's quite a long time. He worked at Lightspeed Financial, which is the third largest brokerage firm, averaging more than 450,000 trades a day, which is a lot. So he spent a lot of time in the capital markets, which is really important, and has a great track record of delivering value, which I think is important when you're investing in any company. You know, if you have a CEO that's just garbage, you know, what's the point? Because at the end of the day, the buck stops with them. So Voyager Digital has seen an asset growth in the company from around $5 million to well over hundreds of millions of dollars in under a year. So that is just absolutely huge growth in a very short period of time. The platform that they use is very user-friendly as well. It's very easy to buy and sell currencies on that particular platform. And I think that's one of the big selling points why people are jumping onto Voyager Digital in droves. If we look at this financial space, this is a place that is absolutely ripe for disruption at the moment. And if we look at the exponential revenue growth of Voyager, it's very well positioned to take a share in this. So not only the broader market, but also the space is absolutely ripe for disruption and is growing incredibly fast. So that's 2 ticks of approval from me so far. Will we get the third? As it stands, the crypto markets have a market cap of around $1.9 trillion. And this is growing at an insane rate. There's nothing to suggest that this won't continue based on what we've seen. There's no macro changes really besides China, but who cares about them anyway?
China, that's why. comes from China.
So as I've often said, I'm looking for massively growing companies in a massively growing sector. So we need to look at the company itself and have a look at the speed that it is growing at. This is the part where we get into the numbers and we can actually see the growth rate and how fast this company is actually growing. So Q3 revenue came in at $60 million, so this last quarter, and that is compared to a 16x in the last quarter before that. So they went from $3.6 million to over $60 million in the space of one quarter. If that's not growth, I don't know what is. And adding on to this, something really important to note is that their margins, even now, are just fantastic. Their margins are about 50%. So on that 60 million in revenue, they actually made 30 million in profit. This is actually the first quarter that Voyager Digital has been profitable. And on top of this, the company has said that as they offer even more coins, that margin is expected to grow even further. So we might be seeing a 55% margin, a 60% margin, and that is just a beautiful thing to see, because the bigger the margin is, the higher that percentage is, the more is dropping to the bottom line. And that's what we want to see when we're investing in a company, is margin growth. So we're seeing a hugely growing company, and that growth is estimated to continue going forward, which is also very important when you're investing in a company. So Q4, analysts expect Voyager Digital, the revenue to come in around $103 to $107 million, which is going to be quite significant growth. That's well over a 50% quarter over quarter. So we're seeing some pretty awesome growth, some pretty high estimates, but based on what we're seeing and what the company has said, they're likely to hit that target. Something else that leads me to believe that they're going to hit these targets is that their verified users, their total verified users on the platform is 1.75 million now, which is up 75% on the previous quarter, which is fantastic. And on top of this, the company is very well capitalized. So it's not like they're just going to go broke tomorrow. In fact, they have roughly just under $200 million of working capital that they have on the balance sheet. So that's a lot of room for acquisitions and growth if they need to make certain decisions in regards to purchases. One of the biggest factors into seeing Voyager Digital grow so fast is that they offer interest yielding assets. So let's say you own a bit of Ethereum, you own another coin, something like that. You can actually stake those coins and earn interest on them. And that's something that has seen a lot of people actually flock to Voyager Digital because they started to offer this product. And this is really attractive, especially for people that are a bit younger, more around my age, because as we know, bank interest is absolutely a joke and not worth anything. The returns you're getting on putting your money in the bank is just hilarious. However, on crypto, there is a little bit more risk, but there is a little bit more reward there. When you're collecting that interest, it's well over like 5%, 7% in some cases. So all in all, what we're seeing with Voyager Digital is a company that has just begun a massive amount of exponential growth. And this is a company that is very early on in its current life cycle. It's in its growth phase at the moment. So it's something to keep in mind. There is a lot more risk involved when you're investing in smaller companies. They might not be able to keep this growth up. They might go backwards. So it's something to keep in mind. Personally, I believe that it's going to continue, but of course, you need to do your own research. These things are all speculation. They're all in the future, and we just do not know. So their earnings could be quite volatile, but I think they've got the right recipe. They've got it worked out. Their platform seems to be very effective, and people are jumping onto it in droves. So let's have a look at the valuation. So it currently stands about $1.58 billion US. So if we take these Q3 results and we extrapolate them out, we're likely to be looking at a net profit for the next 12 months of over $120 million. And considering the growth rate, it could be a lot higher. I've just taken the earnings from this particular quarter, but they are expected to earn more in the future. But when we're doing our valuations, it's important to be conservative, so we're erring on the safe side rather than the dangerous side. So we have more chance of making money if we're going to invest in a company. So based on that, the forward PE of this company is under 10. If they earn 30 million, 30 million, 30 million, 30 million, and come out with 120 million for this next 12 months. So that's a forward PE of under 10 for a company that has a growth rate as high as this one. Like, to me, those numbers just seem crazy. So unless there's some insane risk, that I'm not aware of. You know, to me, the risk versus the reward in this particular scenario seems just crazy. So I've actually bought into this company. I've loaded about 5 grand into Voyager Digital. I'm going to be adding to this position for the foreseeable future if the stock stays at the price roughly where it currently is, because it just seems like the value in this is just too good at the moment. I think I'd be happy in this particular company because, you know, it is a bit smaller, a little bit more of a risk to be adding anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. Now, it all just depends on the size of your risk appetite. You know, you might be only willing to put a couple of thousand in, you might be willing to put nothing in. You know, you obviously need to weigh that up. Being a little bit younger, I'm only 30, I have quite a high risk tolerance, and there's a lot of room for growth in my portfolio. So I'm going to continue to add to this because I just see so much value, especially when the stock has been beaten down so much. You know, based on making this video, it's currently trading around that $14, $12 a share mark, which is incredibly low considering that the company was trading up around the $30 mark. So something that we have to keep in mind is that this company will be quite volatile based on the price of Bitcoin. You know, it's just something that we can't avoid. You know, the company's going to trade a lot with that particular asset purely because it's so tied to the value of that. So it's something to keep in mind. If we see Bitcoin go to the moon, then it's very likely we'll see Voyager go to the moon. But, you know, if we see some weakness in Bitcoin, there's a lot of chance that Voyager will stay weak. However, I just can't see how much longer that is going to stay based on the numbers that I'm seeing there. So it'll be very interesting to see what their next earning reports are. I'd be really keen to know if you're considering investing in Voyager Digital or if there's any other stocks that you're looking at investing in. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. I'm trying to make 3 videos a week. You know, we'll see how we go. I've been pretty busy. I just want to say thanks to all of the subscribers that have come onto the channel. You know, we're approaching that 1,000 subscriber goal. You know, we're getting close. So if you've got any friends that are interested in this type of content, please share it with them, get them on board, and we'll keep sharing this for the Australian and the international markets. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Seeney. We'll see you later.